One, let's continue with Master YongHua's Chanchi instructions. We're gonna be doing that for the next 4 nights, and then Friday nights we have feedback and comments. All right, let's get started.
你念南无观世音菩萨，在心里念了几声，这个脾气就不知道跑到什么地方去了。
You recite Namo Guanxin Pusa a few times in your mind, and this temper of yours just unknowingly runs off somewhere.
再找也找不着了，你说这是妙法，不是妙法。
Searching for it again, you won't be able to find it. Would you say this is a wonderful Dharma or not a wonderful Dharma?
但是妙法是妙法，你可是听这么多经，还没有领会这个意思。
But a wonderful Dharma is a wonderful Dharma. You've listened to so many sutras, yet you still haven't grasped this meaning.
现在我对你讲，你觉得很新鲜哦。这个有这么大的灵感，岂止这么大的灵感，比这个还大呢。
Now that I'm telling you this, it feels very new to you. Oh, this has such a great spiritual efficacy. Not only does it have such great spiritual efficacy, it's even greater than this.
Okay, next section. Okay, let's discuss this section here. Again, we are in the second Dharma that you will find this in the Lotus Sutra, in the Universal Door chapter that we recite for the One Yin Dharma assemblies, where the sutra says that you can recite One Yin Bodhisattvas to help deal with the last week. We went through if you have a lot of desires, like sexual desires and all kinds of desires, you recite One Yin Bodhisattva's name, and then it will help make your desires go away. Now tonight. The next poison is anger or hatred, and the same thing. If you are prone to anger, and then the sutra says you should recite One Yin's name, and your anger will go away. It will actually abate. You'll be less and less angry. Okay? Really? You believe it? I know I'd be the last one to bring this up, but do you believe it? Have you tried? Give it a try when you're angry and recite or One Yin Bodhisattva's name and see if it goes away. And that's the best way to put it into practice. If you're greedy, if you have some greed, your mind is totally afflicted by greed, recite One Yin Bodhisattva's name and see what happens. Okay? And what is the requirement in the sutra says? It works as long as you have no what? No what? As long as you have no money. No? Okay. If you are greedy and you want to deal with your greed, and you recite One Yin's name, it works right away as long as you have no money, because you can't do anything about it. Yes, in the back.
Master, I often heard Venerable Master Omeng taught me that as long as you don't have a doubt, then it would work.
That's right. The requirement here is the real requirement, the most important requirement is that when you recite One Yin Bodhisattva's name, expect some sort of responses. This is what the Chinese say, gan ing, some kind of responses. What's gan ing in Vietnam?
Cảm ứng.
Cảm ứng, I was Korean. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, Korean, you figure it out. Okay, so you want a response from this Dharma door. It says there in the sutra, you should have no doubt whatsoever. What happens to us, the reason it doesn't work when you do that is because in the back of your mind, you say, really? I hope it works. Anyone? When I first learned about this, I said, really? Is it really you know, when you're so angry, I know I have a huge temper, and you simply recite the One Yin Bodhisattva's name, and then the anger goes away. And I said, yeah, respectfully, because Master YongHua said so, but in the back of my mind, I said, really? Can I do that? Can I do that? Does it sound familiar? And that's why don't expect a response. What you have to do is recite One Yin Bodhisattva and have no doubt whatsoever. Okay? So resolve your doubt right now. If you have doubt, forget it. Don't even bother reciting. If you have no doubt, it will help you tremendously. Okay? You recite One Yin Bodhisattva's name once. It helps reduce your anger. Recite one more, it reduces it more and more and more and more. And it goes away sometimes. Okay? Is that clear? I know for most people, for people like me as well, I really had doubts. I said, really, does it really work? Because I tried already. I was angry. And I recited the Bodhisattva's name. It really didn't do much for me. Okay? So it's because I wasn't taught properly. You have to have no doubt whatsoever in your mind. And that doubt there, okay, has to be resolved before you recite the Bodhisattva's name. Is it clear to you? Because if you have doubt right now, and you can't resolve it right now, when you're not under pressure, you're going to have doubts when you recite the Bodhisattva's name when you're under duress, under stress, when you're afflicted. Okay? Is that clear? So that's why don't blame the sutra for not speaking the truth and misrepresenting the facts. It works very well if you know how to do it, if you meet the requirements. The requirement simply is no doubt. Okay? So resolve it right now. Okay, so that when you need to, when you're under duress, under stress, and you recite it, you'll be able to have no doubts. But if you have doubts right now, I stress again, it's not going to work. Flat out. Okay? Then what is your alternative? If you can't, you say, One Yin Bodhisattva right now, but in the back of your mind said, I don't know. It's hard for me to totally believe it, that anyone can simply recite One Yin Bodhisattva's name and the anger goes away. And that's too good to be true. It probably isn't. We've been scammed many times before, haven't we? Yeah? So, what is the alternative? Yes, 9 in the back.
Thank you, Master. In my case, I usually get the afflicted or angry. I just listen to the Master Dharma talk because it makes me laugh.
Make you laugh.
And also, it's kind of feel like my anger is come down.
Oh, come on. My Dharma is very serious. You should not be laughing. I apologize, my fault. Because I laugh too much. I joke too much, okay? Good point there, okay? So the process is yes too. Did you have a comment? Or you backed out? Oh, backed out, okay. Then I will also withdraw my next comment. Okay, next. It's not too late yet. Say something, and I say something. What were you about to say?
Well, thank you, Master. I don't really have anything to say.
Nothing to say.
I've never thought about, I was just thinking, there's so many situations where you're supposed to use Wanyin Bodhisattva's name to help you.
Yeah.
If you're angry,
Yeah.
if you're greedy,
Yeah.
if you're hurt,
Yeah.
if you want to be saved. It does boggle the mind.
Well, you see, even if you have doubt and you recite the Bodhisattva's name, actually over time, it will reduce your doubt. And then over time, your anger and your greed and your stupidity will also decrease, by the way. So that's why this Dharma door is very wonderful. Only problem
Is
that you're going to be dead before it goes down. That's my problem. I have really serious anger issues.
Well, I was
I admit
gonna
to you. Okay, so once I get going, forget one in Bodhisattva.
That was what I was going to say, is that if you don't have the faith in her, then one might be left with just the anger.
Yeah.
Because, how can you overcome that?
But the beautiful thing about this Dharma door is that actually every time you recite it, it helps a little bit. And it helps a little bit more and more and more. Okay? That's why we recite Wanyin Bodhisattva's name. However, because if you look at the Bodhisattva's Dharma doors, you see that when you recite her name, it does a lot of things, not just deal with anger, but also supposed to give you a boy. If you're looking for a boy, looking for a girl, she also can give you a girl. You know what I mean? And therefore, there's so many things she does, 32 types of transformation body she does, so that when you call out her name, she'll come to you in 32 different kinds of manifestations, appearances. And therefore, so you get so many benefits, and among them is a little bit of greed is reduced, a little bit of anger is reduced. That's the nature of the process. Does it make sense? Unless you know how to do it, okay? The advanced practitioners, they do it. Of course, their response will be so much more than yours, okay? But I'm more concerned about you. If we teach you these things, how can you use them? Because if we don't speak about it, we don't discuss it, this will happen to me. I came back and said, nah, it doesn't work. And I half-heartedly never tried. I tried a little bit and said, nah, it doesn't work for me. Okay? And so that's why we discuss these things to help you understand. And I don't want to mislead you in any way. Okay? All right, let me explain to you the process. Okay? When you're angry, for example, and it happens. No, not to you. You're never angry. Yeah, I can tell. Okay? When you're angry, and you realize you're angry, so what do? You want to get your mind off your anger, right? Because if the more you dwell on your anger, it increases. Agree? That's what happens to us. Happens to anger, happens to greed, happens to stupidity, which is the third poison. We all agree, right? That's what happens to us. Okay? So what you need to do is, first thing you need to do is get your mind off your anger. Don't look at the person who's making you angry, for example. Okay? Because when you're angry at someone, you're blaming that person, and you more look at that person, you keep on looking for more reason. Look at her face now. She's really liking this, isn't she? You know? Boy, would I like to deck her right now. Something like that. And you keep on making yourself more afflicted. That's what you do. Right? Same thing with greed. Yes? That's two things very, very fairly easy for you to see. Yes? You drink and you like a drink, that's greed, right? And then you say, oh, this is nice, let's have another one. Okay? But you know what? Maybe I should have something in my stomach just to slow down my getting drunk. So you put something in your stomach and so forth. So the greed multiplies. You see? And that's why the concept here is to recite one in Bodhisattva's name is pull your mind away from your affliction. That's the process. You have to understand why we teach you this. Because if you say one yin Bodhisattva, but it's like you recite off the side of your mouth and you really don't believe. Okay? Whereas the belief means that you put everything, all your mind into the Bodhisattva's name. Okay, you're angry? One yin Bodhisattva. You see, you forget about this immediately. And it dies down. That's the process. And furthermore, of course, when you recite her names and you're angry and she sees that you need help, she comes around and helps you a little bit as well. Okay, so that's a secondary effect of reciting her name. Is it clear? But the most important thing, the key to this Dharma door is that you need to get your mind off the affliction, off the poison. It's critical. That's why it works. You see? If you get it off, you get off the thing that is afflicting you, your affliction decreases right away, doesn't it? And if you get your mind off the affliction totally, you focus on the Bodhisattva's name here, and this affliction dies immediately. Got that? That's why. What I just explained to you is another aspect of this Dharma door from the perspective of chant. You see, that's what we do in chant. We get afflicted, okay? For example, you sit and your legs are in pain, okay? And you think about your pain and you get angry. I've seen people hitting, or some people make so really, obscene noises and so forth, okay? Because the minds dwell on the pain. And if they simply focus on the navel totally, there's no more pain. So that's why if the longer you do that, the longer you endure the discomfort and the pain, the more your concentration increases. And someday, one day, okay, you'll be able to focus on your navel, focus on the One Yin Bodhisattva's name, and then there's no more pain, no more affliction. That's the process behind it. Okay? And so this is I use a Chan Dharma door to explain to you why this Wanyin Bodhisattva recitation works in helping you get rid of your afflictions. Is it clear? Does it help? Okay, so that's why if you have some real Chan skills and you're able to, when you are so angry here, and you have good reasons to be angry, okay, and you say, oh, I'm not supposed to get angry because I'm about to hit my daughter. Right there, right? She's really misbehaving. I just have to smack her, spank her, yeah? Okay, you're so angry. Okay? And so this is why your mom, hey, little girl, this is why your mom comes to the temple. She used to be so afflicted by the kids and by everything. Okay? So if you realize you don't want to get angry, all you have to do is focus on anything else. Your navel, the Buddha's name, Wanyin Bodhisattva's name, Earth-store Bodhisattva's name, anything. Get your mind off. That's the Chan Dharma door. Got that? And that's why it works. And again, because Wanjin's in particular's name here is that she's promises us she will help with our anger. She'll come and help a little bit more than reciting all the names. Okay? Earth-store specialty is not helping, is not to help you reduce your anger. Okay? His real desire is to help save you from the sufferings of the hells. Okay? All right? And so that's a process behind this Dharma door. Okay? And so that's why once you master the Chan Dharma door, once your Chan skills are mature, you can easily handle your anger, your greed, just like that. And that's why I promise you, this is why we're doing this. Okay? Okay. There's a lot more to it, but I just merely explained these simple fundamental process for you. Yes, 8.
마스터.
9.
마스터, 저는 감흥에 대해서 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 저 부처님을 불자가 된 지 얼마 안 돼가지고 교통사고가 났는데 가운데 끼어가지고 거의 다 죽을 뻔해가지고 차도 큰 차인데 폐차시킬 지경까지 갔는데 119가 와가지고 나를 안아 드러내리는데 계속 그 안에서 부처님 명호를 부르고 있어서 그 119 대원이 이 여자가 미쳤나 왜 자꾸 그 부처님 이름을 부르노 멀쩡하게 살아가지고 죽은 줄 알고 꺼냈다는 거예요. 그리고 부처님 감사합니다 자꾸 이러고 또 병원에 응급실에 실려갔는데 거기서도 부처님 감사합니다. 그 옆에 있는 사람들이 아이고 죽다가 살았는데 왜 부처님 감사하다는 인사만 자꾸 하냐고 그래. 어쨌든 부처님 때문에 감사하다고 살아났다고 그래가지고 아무 탈 없이 차만 폐차시키고 몸은 티끌 하나 다친 데가 없었습니다. 그래서 그런 기적도 한번 느꼈고 또 한 번은 아들이 39살인데 직장을 그만두고 대기업에 응시를 해가지고 엄마 내일이 10시에 연락 안 오면 회사 안 된 걸로 아세요 이러는데 그날 밤에 9시에 저 통도사에 가가지고 밤새 9시부터 새벽 3시까지 철야기도에 참석을 해가지고 계속 관세음보살을 정건을 했는데요. 그래서 하고 집에 와서 잠깐 잠이 들었는데 우리 집에 항아리가 굉장히 많았습니다. 한 100년 된 항아리가. 그래서 꿈에 항아리에서 샘물이 막 솟아오르면서 연꽃이 계속 피어나는 겁니다. 그래서 연꽃을 뽑아도 올라오고 계속 연꽃이 올라와가지고 눈을 번쩍 떠보니까 꿈이었어요. 근데 오늘 얘가 되겠구나 했는데 아침 10시에 합격했다고 연락이 와서 저는 부처님 가피를 대단히 입고 감흥을 많이 받습니다. 그동안 살면서. 그리고 이제 마스터를 만나고 아미타불을 이제 부르기 시작했고요. 그랬습니다.
Master, I would like to talk about my responses, what happened with me. Right after I become a Buddhist, I had a real big bad accident, and I was crushed between the cars, and it was like a very big cars. So all the 911 came, and they thought I was almost dead, and they took me out of the crushed car, and they thought I was crazy because I was just reciting, "Oh Buddha, thank you so much, Buddha, thank you so much."
Don't do that. They're gonna think you crazy.
And then I went to the emergency room, and also there I was keep on saying, "Oh Buddha, thank you so much, thank you so much." And all the people there were wondering, "You almost were dead. Why are you thanking that for?" But I thought I've been alive because of Buddha, thanks to Buddha. And the car we had to abandon, but my body was not hurt at all. So I was perfectly okay. And also one other incident is that when my son was 39 years old, he quit his job and he applied for a bigger company. And my son said, "Mom, if they don't call me until 9 p.m. today, we should consider that I didn't get the job." So I went to Tongdosa, and all night I recited Guanyin Bodhisattva. And then after that, in the morning, I came back to my house, and then I fell asleep. And in my house, there was a lot of jars, like traditional jars. And I could see in the jars in my house, there was water coming out of the jar, and the lotus was sprouting continuously. So I pick up the lotus, but the lotus keep coming up, like blossoming. So I opened my eyes, and it was a dream. And then that morning, 10 a.m., my son got a call from the company that he got into the company. So living my life, I got a lot of responses from Buddha. And then I met you, Master, and then that's when I met Amitabha Buddha and started reciting Amitabha. Thank you, Master.
Wow, that's nice. And that's no wonder. She simply believes. And if you believe in the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they will help you. Don't have any doubt. Okay? You can get a lot of miraculous responses simply by your pure faith. Okay? Have you tried praying for a super lotto? No, you haven't? Would you like to try? Because you seem to have a lot of responses. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Also, the third poison, yes, 6. Go ahead, 6.
Emitofuo, I would like to maybe share during the fun share, one response I know of, but also my own self-complaint also. So one response I knew of was, I know a daughter was trying to buy a house, and so I'm waiting for the response from the, what is that called, the realtor?
Yeah.
And then the father was a real believer of Guan Yin, absolutely no doubt. And then the daughter came home. The father said to the daughter, saying, "Oh, I was intending to Guan Yin, and Guan Yin told me you're gonna get the house." And then the daughter said, "Well, I didn't hear from the realtor at all." But then, sure enough, pretty soon she got a call from the realtor, and she got the house.
Wow, that's nice.
So that's the good response. Now my own story.
What, is he still alive, that man?
I think you sent him to the Pure Land.
Oh, sounds like we can use him, you know.
So my own story, Master.
Your own story, yes.
Well, I think I got a response when I was a kid with Guan Yin, crying. It was raining. I was by myself and said, Guan Yin, please make the rain stop. I'm scared. I incented and it stopped in like a few minutes, but that was it. Now you were just talking about, earlier you said, don't have doubt, it won't work. Now I'm silly and I feel like I'm hopeless, Master.
Yeah.
I just recite Guan Yin.
Yeah, you have no time for doubts. When you are stressed out, by the way, okay, when you're under duress, and if you could remember Guan Yin's name and you call out to her, usually you too stressed out to have any doubt. You become single-minded. Another word for no doubt is be single-minded. At that moment only. You can doubt all you want, but at that moment, if you have no doubt, simply have no doubt whatsoever, the response will be there.
Master, I would like to ask a question because I know that Guan Yin Dharma door works for everything. I read the Medicine Buddha Sutra also work. Now, fairly ask, what can this Guan Yin Dharma door help in terms of our current disaster fire situation in California? I mean, when I was driving and I heard about the news, whatever, I just start to recite Guan Yin, Namo Guanse Yinposa, Namo Medicine Buddha, who else? It just went through my mind. Now, I don't know if it helped with anything, and I don't think I could expect any response, because I normally, other than that one time when I was a kid, I don't really, not like Venerable Old Monk, get a response so quickly. I don't really get a very obvious response that I know of, but I just silly. I have nothing better, no better option. I just do it. I just recite Namo Guanse Yinposa, Namo Medicine Buddha whenever I need it, whenever I'm trying to get help. But I don't think it's gonna, I wasn't expecting that it's gonna give me a very obvious response. But I just do it.
Just do it. Don't worry about expecting or not expecting a response. Just do it.
It helps?
Yes, it helps.
Okay,
but
thank you.
May not be in the way you want. Okay? I personally believe that when you ask Guan Yin for help, she will help. But let her decide for you what's the best way to help you. This is the nature of the help from Buddhists and Bodhisattvas. If you really have faith, it's actually sometimes it's better that things turns out a certain way, and it may not be the way you want, but actually that's a help. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not, but I do know that many of you come to us for help, and sometimes it's not exactly what you expect, but actually it's better that the outcome is better than what you were hoping, what you were expecting long term. Okay? So let them decide for us. Don't worry. Okay? And as far as this fire is concerned, as you practice more and your level of skills is much, much higher, then you understand what I mean. Okay? They have their own wisdom and they know what's best for us. When we ask for help, we want something so badly for ourselves. But actually, sometimes the response we get is not quite exactly what we want, but actually it's better for us. Okay? And I give you an example of the speaking of the fire. There is an old couple who lived in the fire hazard area. And it's a very nice area. They lived there for a long, long time, so they have a lot of roots there. Now they're older, and the husband is really cannot take care of himself anymore. And so the wife is spending her entire days taking care of him. He's totally helpless, okay? And so she neglects the house, and nothing really. She's really becoming more and more overwhelmed because his health is deteriorating very fast nowadays. Okay? And it's becoming untenable right now, the situation. And it turns out the fire burned down the house, and then they realize, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I can't build a house anymore. It's too much work, okay, for an elderly couple. So I'm going to look for assisted living. And which is exactly what should have done. But they're too attached to the houses, to the lifestyles, and the woman is so gung-ho, I will take care of my husband until I die because I love him to death. Okay? So she would not listen. So it turns out the house being burned down actually was a catalyst for her to really seriously consider assisted living, which is available and they can afford it. You see that? And if you came to me and asked me, can you protect the house, make sure it doesn't burn down? The Bodhisattva says, let it burn. You got it? It's real. That's what happened. And there's one more response, but I'm not going to tell you. I want to keep that private for them. You see? And so sometimes the responses from a Bodhisattva is actually the best thing for you possible. Okay? That's what I believe. So as far as this fire is concerned, I've been tiptoeing around it. I am trying to tell you that there's very heavy karmic retribution there. Okay? And I'm not sure that as I look more closely into it, I'm not sure I can help because it's way too heavy. It's like war. I cannot undo a war. I cannot stop a war. Okay? It's not in my power to stop a war. This is connected to, similar to the disasters from wars. That's how heavy it is. Okay? It's funny, I look at the map of the fire hazard. Our area and Long Beach and so forth are spared. Okay? All the other areas are in the red. Okay? So it turns out I'm grateful that we have there's a little bit of consideration for us. Okay, I don't need to lose my temper. Okay, but the point here is that we can do only so much. Sometimes we all have to undergo our retribution as a wake-up call, if you will. I know it's cruel to talk like that. It's very difficult for especially the victims to hear it, okay? But the retribution is so heavy that not much can be done. Okay? So I prayed, I said, please, the wind die down. So it died down, okay, the following day. But then now it's picking up again. You see? So so it's clear to me, usually when the wind blows through Lu Mountain Temple and makes it so noisy, I could not hear myself here on the microphone. I don't know you remember that. I said it happened about the first few chanchis at Lu Mountain Temple back then, and I was speaking Dharma every night, okay, and I couldn't even hear myself. The wind blew, okay, and I got upset. I said, "Geez, I'm speaking Dharma. Don't you have any respect? Go blow somewhere else." It went away right away. Okay, for us, we can control our own areas, but when you have a kind of war, retribution, it's way beyond me. I can't really help. I'm very sorry. I wish I could, but I'm not a Buddha, so I can't help. Okay? It helps a little bit. The wind died down, so now we control 14% of Palisades fire, 30% of the Eaton fire. So, at least somehow people can still survive, can still escape. But, it's just too complicated. Okay? It's way beyond me. Be honest with you. Okay? Yeah. And if you say, oh, how about you calling Wan Yin or Medicine Master Buddha for help? I could. Okay? Okay? If I did that, I have to take on the retribution on my own shoulders. It's not free. Okay? Meaning this will have to be burned. All my property will be burned, and you will be homeless. Actually, you should go back to cultivate under trees. Huh? No more this internet thing, cameras, and all these things. No more. We don't need anything, do we? You see? So sometimes it is only so much that we can do because we have other commitments. My commitment is to you first. I'm committed. I've committed to help you cultivate, help you reach enlightenment. That's my commitment. That's my number one priority. If I do anything else that will get in the way, and then it's no good. I'm shooting myself in the foot. Okay? All right. Back to slide 45. Next. Go ahead. I thought I would skip this, but go ahead.
若多愚痴，这个愚痴的病谁都有。
If one has a lot of stupidity, this stupidity is an ailment that everyone has.
你没有，就不需要念观世音菩萨。
If you don't have it, then there's no need to recite Guanxin Pusa.
我们这些个人有的就要念。
For those of us who have it, then we must recite.
谁没有，谁就不要念，因为你认为自己的智慧够了，聪明也圆满了，那你就不需要念观世音菩萨。
Whoever doesn't have it just doesn't need to recite because you believe your wisdom is sufficient and your intelligence is complete. In that case, you don't need to recite Guanxin Pusa.
所以我们每一个人，要是觉得自己智慧还不够，就应该念观世音菩萨了。
Therefore, each and every one of us, if you feel that you yourself are not good enough yet and your wisdom is insufficient, you should recite Guanxin Pusa.
若多愚痴，常念恭敬观世音菩萨，便得离痴。
If one has a lot of stupidity, constantly and respectfully recite Guanxin Pusat, and you will be freed from stupidity.
法华经是释迦牟尼佛所说的，赞叹观世音菩萨。
This is from the Lotus Sutra, spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha, praising Guanxin Bodhisattva.
Okay, so third poison is stupidity. He's so stupid, he don't listen. Okay, not much can be done. And you know that. You should recite Wanyin Bodhisattva's name, and miraculously, your stupidity is lessened. Okay? For our Chan Dharma door, our practices, we do a lot of, we recite Wanyin's name, we bow to her, we recite, excuse me, we recite the 42 hands and eyes, we recite the Great Compassion Mantra. We do a lot of Dharma doors of Wanyin, and that's all these practices are actually helping with the three poisons. All right, so that's why you when you stick around long enough, your faith in one yin will keep on increasing, and your three poisons will be lessened. That's all. Okay. Any questions and comments? Okay. Yes, 9.
마스터 또 한 가지 말씀드릴 게 있는데요. 감흥받은 거. 제가 절에 처음 다니면서 절에 가가 아침 예불에 보면 노보살님들이 계속 신묘장구 대다라니 우리가 하는 대비수를 외우고 있는데 저게 무슨 소린가 이러고 들었는데 아무래도 저는 너무 길어가 460장가 그런데 외울 수가 없는 거예요. 그래 집에 와가지고 밤에 자면서 부처님 나 이거 신묘장구 대다라니 좀 외우게 해주세요 했더니 그날부터 눈만 감으면 온 집안이 대비수로 꽉 차는 거예요. 여기 봐도 보고 외우면 되고 저쪽에도 있고 사방 대비수로 도배를 해가지고 며칠 안 걸려가 그걸 다 외워버렸어요. 그래서 아 이것도 한 가피로구나 하고 관세음보살을 열심히 믿고 관음도량을 열심히 다녔습니다.
Master, I would like to share one more response that happened with me. When I was first going to the temples in the morning ceremony, all the old women, they were reciting Great Compassion Mantra. And I couldn't get a clue what that meant. And it was so long, so I couldn't remember all those lines. So I went back to my house, and when in the nighttime, before I get to sleep, I asked Buddha, prayed to Buddha that, please Buddha, let me recite this, let me remember all those lines. And from that day, the next day, if I close my eyes, I could see the Great Compassion Mantra.
That's cheating. You're supposed to memorize, not read. That's cute. Go ahead, continue.
So it was like great compassion mantra all over the wall.
Wow.
So wherever I see, I could see the great compassion mantra.
Wow.
So within few days, I could remember all the lines.
Wow,
So,
wow, that's
yeah.
incredible.
So starting from that day, I started to go to all the Guanyin Bodhisattva temples.
Wow, yeah, what a nice response, huh? Wow. You don't have to memorize anymore. All you have to do is read it. Actually, one of my students, I taught her Wanyin's, to recite Wanyin's name. And she's very, very serious cultivator. She's very gung-ho. And she said after a few months of reciting Wanyin's name, every time she recites the Great Compassion Mantra, actually she can see the line, the next line, the next line, the next line. Incredible concentration. And this is a person who never went to a temple until I showed up. All right, let's go back to 52.
如果观世音菩萨没有这种大威神力，佛怎么会赞叹他呢？
If Guanxin Bodhisattva did not possess such great miraculous power, why would the Buddha praise him?
No, seriously. These Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have tremendous, tremendous power. There's nothing that they can't do. Okay. However, as I said earlier, they use their wisdom, their tremendous wisdom, in order to decide how to help you. And once they decide to help you, they can manifest their spiritual powers. Okay, just like that. Okay, you think if Guanyin Bodhisattva is these people over there who are the victims right now, okay, if they said they got together, all these 100,000 people and prayed to Guanyin, the fires just go out just like that. You know, the Buddhist disciples would have a better chance. These people, they belong to a different religion. They believe in different things. But we Buddhist disciples, can you imagine if there is a fire coming here? I would call you in together, including Marco there, and tell Marco to get off the fasting thing here because we need him to recite Wanyin's name. And then we walk around, recite Wanyin's name to the periphery. The water cannot even come close, let me tell you. I believe that. That's why I never bother asking for help, unless, I'm about to lose it. Okay? It's how powerful the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are. If they want to put out a fire, that's what they do. That's how powerful they really are. Okay? Yeah. But again, this is Shakyamuni Muni Buddha's world, the Saha world, okay? He has things going certain ways, and that's why we need to respect it, okay? And if necessary, okay, if so many Buddhist disciples got together and asked for help, I'm pretty sure the houses and the properties would be saved. That's my belief. Okay. All right. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. Robin's Nest has been writing quite a bit here, and I felt that you were answering her questions. But she wrote back and she said, I'm still confused. I chant Guanxin Pusa all the time, but I don't usually ask for much or anything from her. I have heard from Master to ask other bodhisattvas more often, don't be too much of a Guanyin fanboy. Is that correct? I already asked from her, sometimes maybe ask less from her. Is this the correct approach?
No, not at all. If you used to recite Guanyin's name when you are under duress, then continue to do so. There's no need to change. I simply said, for me personally, because I know a lot more than you. I know that when you ask for help, I know how to ask for help better than you. So for example, if I have someone going to the house and I need some help, then I would ask Ersto Bodhisattva for some help because that's his area, that's his domain. Okay? If someone is sick, and the situation is very bad, then instead of asking for Wan Yin's help, I could do that, but or Master Shinwa for help, I could ask Medicine Master Buddha for help, because that's his specialty. So that's why I have a lot more choices than you. If you only know one In Bodhisattva's name, by all means ask her. She'll come to help you. I like to spread it out and create more affinities with the others. Because, eventually I'll be traveling, okay? I won't be stuck here forever. I like to travel to Western Bliss Pure Land. I like to go to Eastern Bliss Pure Land. I like to go to all the Pure Lands. Okay, I like to travel, so I want to have conditions. So when I go there, I won't be a stranger. There'll be, some people waiting to help me. That's why I spread it out, because eventually it says in the Avatamsaka Sutra, eventually when you become a bodhisattva, you have to go all over the entire universe. You travel everywhere. You can't just stay in Korea. Okay? Absolutely not, because if some living being somewhere else in the Dharma realm needs help, okay, and you are able to help, you should go there and help. That's what they do. Okay, that's part of the practice. So far we are attached here because we're still limited to Wei Mountain Temple and DTT and so forth, but eventually we have to go all over. We cannot. That's one of the points I'm trying to stress here. You cannot afford to be only Korean, only Vietnamese, only American, only Chinese. It makes sense for you to retain your national identity, because that's where you live, that's where you support your family and friends and your jobs and so forth, okay, but in our work, in our jobs, you have to be more open-minded and be less Vietnamese, be less Korean, because you need to help others. You need to expand your mind, okay, to help others. All right? And to the extent of you, including you, going to a different galaxy, a different Buddha land, to help as well. Okay? And that can only happen if your mind is not so enclosed. I am Korean. I am Vietnam. I am American. You got that? You cannot. This is why we're teaching you this, because these are the subtleties that will make you so narrow in your accomplishments. That's why when I go to a country and I accept disciples, I look and say, and look at their Buddhism, and I said, and I'm known to tell my disciples from other countries, I said, I will teach you to surpass your teacher. It's because their teachers are still narrowly focused on the national identity of Buddhism instead of making it international, making it universal. This Buddhism here is, I'm training you to transcend your ethnicities, your national boundaries, and someday even transcend the Saha world here. That's why I'm teaching you about going to the Western Bliss Pure Land, Eastern Vaidurya Light Land as well. That's to help you there. There's other places that you should consider as well. And once you have that kind of mindset, you won't be as limited in your accomplishments. Chung Yin Sinim, do you hear me? That's why I want you, especially you, Sanghas, monks and nuns. I want you to be aware of your attachment to your ethnicity. Don't be so proud to be a Korean. Don't be so proud to be a Vietnamese. Don't be so proud to be American. because you're restricting your accomplishments, because that's all your mind can think, that's all you can get. You have to expand, okay? And don't worry, I will slap in your face to remind you when the time comes, when it's necessary. This is why, this is what I can do to you, monks and nuns. I'm not afraid that you run away. But lay people, I can't, because in America, they sue me, you know. Here, you have to be careful. When you're poor and they sue you, you can't even afford a lawyer. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. Rosemead says that you've clarified it perfectly for her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking another question. You see, Jung-in Sunim, do you hear me tonight? I mean, you monks and nuns, when you get to a certain level, you surpass your teacher already. And if you're not careful, you cannot surpass all your Korean Sunims, because you look at yourself as Korean only. And that's all you're going to reach. The highest possible that a Korean Sunim can reach has been proven over the years. And that's why you need to change your paradigm. Got that? And don't worry, I'll slap you in the face to remind you how stupid you are. Yes?
This is related to a YouTube question that was asked on Friday night.
Yeah.
About that Buddhism can only be transmitted or taught by the lay people, by the Sangha, not the lay people.
Oh God, I love this question because I make more enemies.
Can you elaborate more?
By answering these things. It's nothing wrong with lay people using Buddhist teachings and Buddha's dharmas to make a living. I find nothing wrong with it. Okay? If it's a good thing, you make money and you help people open their wisdom and help people improve the quality of lives, so much better for you. Okay? That's a good thing if you're able to do that. I have no problem with it. So, but as far as Buddhism is concerned, unfortunately, the Buddha said it already. Okay, if you want to be a good knowing advisor in pure Buddhism, then you have to be a Sangha. Okay, and therefore, that's why I said, if you're looking for the Buddha Dharma and you are serious about getting the best Buddha Dharma possible for you, you should not look at a lay person, period. Okay? And that's why the sixth patriarch, based on the Buddhist teaching, had to become a monk before he could officially teach his disciples and accept disciples. Okay, I've heard of stories of lay people accepting disciples. Okay, like the guy who died already, Jing Gong, who is a famous Taiwanese or Chinese monk who praised his teacher, who is a lay person, Nan Huai Qin. No. Yeah, so he said, I learned my Pure Land Dharma from this lay person, whatever his name is. I think it's Nan Huai Qin or whatever. It's not? Okay, another one?
Hello. I was actually going to ask the question on that also. So Master sent Jing Kong's teacher, the layperson, was Libing Nan, Zhao Dongfang, and also a Tibetan teacher, Jiang Jia Dashi.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know much about him because I know his level is too low, so I don't care what he does. Okay. But you see, I'm very scary. I look at you first. I see your level and I say, your level is that. But you talk about, let's say, real mark. You don't know what you're talking about. I discard you right away. I don't waste my time talking to you. You understand me? I don't have a lot of time, so I'm very fast. If I look at Master Hsuan Hua, I said, okay, he explains real mark, I want to listen very, very carefully. But if, let's say, Jing Kung try to explain real mark, he's a third stage arhat. He has no business talking about real mark. In Buddhism, it's not words. We need to teach you. When we speak Dharma, we use the Buddha's words to teach you how to open your wisdom. That's the purpose of speaking Dharma. It's not to show you our knowledge and get more disciples, get more support, get more money. This is not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm speaking Dharma to you because I want to help you open your wisdom. I want to help you specific things. Okay? It's never my intention to speak Dharma so that you can go out there and say, you know, I don't care for you PhD people in Buddhology. I know more Buddhism because I learned from Master YongHua. I can do that too, but it's a waste of time. I only make a bunch of arrogant people like you, who knows everything about Buddhism. Okay? And so I'm very scary in that sense. When you talk about things, I look at you first. I say, okay, yeah, and you get to that point, it's okay. But you go beyond that, it's out of your league. Okay? And so that's why as soon as Jing Kung, I look at Jing Kung, I say, third stage arhat, and yes, all these Chinese people, they're supposed to be grateful to the teacher, the recognized teacher. It's a good worldly thing to do. But in Buddhism, you don't do that. Because a monk can never bow to a lay person as a teacher. Never, ever. Be. Okay? If you do that, you're shooting yourself in the foot as a monk. Stop this stupidity. Cut it out. I heard people say that, monks say that. I didn't say anything, but I was chuckling. I said, you are so stupid. How could you do that to yourself? And so, again, and that's why I chuckle. I said, Jing Kung, I discard him right now. I don't bother reading his stuff because it's a waste of time. He doesn't know, okay? And so, however, these lay people are entitled to speak the Dharma and teach the Dharma as the way they see fit. It's nothing wrong. I mean, if they make a living out of it, there's nothing wrong with it. I have no problem with it. But as a cultivator, I would never look at them. I would never look at their teachings very seriously. So you see, I'm saving you time. I know I'm offending a lot of people, okay? And they have more credentials and high credentials and higher achievement than I do, so be it. But I'm trying to save you time. Don't go there because you're wasting your time. These people don't have enough wisdom. What they do is contrary to the Buddha's way of teaching. Okay? So yes, if you learn from them and then you find these ideas, concepts that help you earn a living, make a living, by all means, it's perfectly fine. But I don't approve of monks learning from lay people. Okay? And also, let me tell you, what about these lay people who may be enlightened? Suppose they're enlightened, okay? And they know that they're not supposed to teach the Dharma, but they want to teach the Dharma. Then what they typically do is they find a teacher. And then we say, let me teach your Buddhist class for you. Okay? Let me explain the sutra for you at your temple, which is a wise thing to do. Okay? Here's what happens. When you do that, you know what's going to happen to you, if you're a layperson? The master will listen to your explanation. And the master, this happened to me. Before I had a temple, I went to different temples everywhere, and I spoke Dharma, and the abbots were all listening in. And if I said the wrong thing, I'm not allowed to come back. So you think at those places, I could afford to say, don't be so Vietnamese, don't be so Taiwanese, don't be so Korean. They shut the door on me right away. Make sense? Okay? So that's why if you teach the Dharma under a master, and it brings you into the realm of the master will stop you and say, no, you are teaching the wrong Dharma, you're making me look bad. You should not teach here anymore. So you see, so if you are enlightened as a lay person and you want to teach a Dharma, you find another monk to go to his temple to teach at his temples. He will listen in. And if you are becoming a threat to him, he'll throw you out. So the only chance for you is find a teacher, a real monk who is enlightened, who can support you. You see, it's very, very difficult thing for lay people to speak the Dharma for the sake of teaching Buddhism. But if you want to make a living using Buddhist knowledge and Buddhist principles, nothing wrong with it. It's a very good thing to do. I encourage it. Okay? Because what you're doing is helping bring Buddhism to the masses. Things that we cannot do. As a monk, we're not supposed to chase after money, chase after fame. And so it limits our options. Because there's some people who need to be cajoled, the egos need to be stroked before they're willing to listen. And then in that process, you can charge them some money to sustain yourself. Nothing wrong with it. But for monks and nuns like where we are at our temples, we don't want to go that route, okay? Because we don't have to. We have enough support. We don't need things that will get in the way of our Chan practices and our Wei-Yang practices, our Wei-Yang tradition. Okay? Does it help? It's a good thing, okay? All right. Ask if I did not answer your concerns. Okay. Yeah, I would love it. Here's what I like to see. I like to see that many of you who reach, who have wisdom, okay, meaning that you really are first stage Arhat or higher, okay, and then you are special. And then, and eventually you'll be able to see that all the teachers, all the lay people teachers, all the monks, you see that you eventually outgrow them, like most of you eventually outgrow the teachers, okay? That's a natural thing. So you should make your own path, create your own pathways, create a new trail so that you can help people different ways and more people and so forth. It's a good thing to do, okay, in ways that we cannot do. We have to be true to our identity. We cannot seek fame. We don't want to seek fame. We don't want to seek profits. Not me. I have no interest. Okay? That's all. But you lay people are free to go out and seek fame and make money of it, use your spiritual powers and whatever. That's your decision. I'm not going to stop you. Okay? Yeah. But I hope that you use it for the good causes, not to harm others, because you are dangerous. Especially the monks who return a lay life, they are dangerous, because that's why I'm cautious on teaching the monks. They may get to that level, but actually I don't teach them a whole lot of tricks on how to do things, because if they return to lay life, they could be dangerous to society. They start imposing their wills on others and so forth. Okay? We have antidotes for all that. So that's not going to happen under my watch. Yes, 8.
Master, if there is an enlightened person, a lay person, like you said, that if that person goes to the master and asks him to be accepted into the Sangha, wouldn't be that the best route for a person to try to speak Dharma? To go through becoming a Sangha and eventually maybe being able
Not really. Okay. As a Sangha, there are certain things I can't talk about. As a lay person, you have a lot more freedom. Okay, besides you know more from your education, from your background, from your experiences, more than I do. My experience is very limited. Okay, I wasn't born here. I don't speak language that well. I'm not that bright and so forth. There's just so many limitations. Okay, so I had to stick to something that I can do better than many people. That's all. But you should have your own distinctive competence, and you're free to be a lay person. You don't need to become a monk. There's nothing wrong with you teaching Buddhism, as I said, and make money off it and sustain yourself. Okay? And why would you want to become a monk? Because as a lay person, did you know that many monks at my master's temple, they're oppressed, but they're so scared of going out because they know they need to pay for a temple, that there's mortgages, there are utilities, there are insurances, and all sorts of bills. Now you have to worry about money constantly. So that's why they will not sneak out. They will not leave because they're afraid. They have to compromise themselves. If they're afraid, they will not get support. They're not skilled enough to make their own ways. Okay, and so you can speak Dharma absolutely. You don't have to be a monk. Okay, all I'm saying is that don't be a good knowing advisor. Because a good knowing advisor is supposed to train someone. Okay, supposed to train the next generation. Master YongHua calls the lay people good knowing advisor because his view is that you share your Buddhism, your Buddhist knowledge with the other people, monks or lay people and so forth. Okay, so it's a form of sharing. Okay, for me, a good knowing advisor is more pure, has higher standards, where actually a good knowing advisor as a monk, you're supposed to train people. If you're not training people, because a good knowing advisor transfers his knowledge to the next generation. You lay people call it training, education, whatever. Okay, but for me, it's very pure and simple. Whatever I know, I need to transmit it to you. Okay, that's why if I were a good knowing advisor, I need to do that. Okay, but casually sharing, what you learn about tonight and so forth to other people, it's sharing. I would not call it good knowing advisor. Okay, because it makes you arrogant. You don't know that much. How can you advise people? Let's face it. Okay, did I answer your question? Okay, thank you for the question. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. Daniel 7 has a question. Emitofuo, Master, if the relationship between two people was not meant to advance further, do the Bodhisattvas help in making this happen for the best of both sides? Thank you.
Which Bodhisattva? Bodhisattva usually don't help with love. You have to go to the Catholics and the Christians for that, and the Jews and the Mormons for that. We really don't want to get involved in the love issues. Okay, it's your personal life. Actually, my master is funny. My master, he actually chose wives for his lay disciples, and they're still together. So the guy, this Jewish guy, professor, okay, lecturer in Northern California, big universities there, and he said, I'm looking for a wife, and I want, but I have no luck. So Master YongHua says, go there, and look for this woman. And he went there, found the woman, and fell in love with her, and they're still married to this date. He's probably dead already, he's old. But you see, so Master YongHua does those things. He's the only Bodhisattva I know who does that. I don't know how to justify getting you hooked up, okay? Because in these relationships, is a lot more complicated than I have the wisdom. See, Master YongHua cheats. Yeah? He looks at you, he looks at her, and then he says, looking down 50 years, you still be together. You should be okay. So that's what he does. But, what happened is that even so, they're still together, they had a child, okay? And the boy has a lot of issues. So, from a purist perspective, the problem from the boy, okay, originate from Master YongHua, because he's the one who got them together to produce the boy, fabricate the boy. Okay. You see, so you are transmitting the difficulties, to other people and to the next generation. This is why the Bodhisattvas try to stay away from it. But it's a natural thing. You have conditions with each other, and so you get married and you get divorced. It's natural. Yes, JMT.
마스터 질문이 있는데요. 마스터께서 일전에 복이 물질화 발현화 되려면 연이 필요하다고 하셨는데 이틀 전에 반야심경에는 연은 우리가 어떻게 컨트롤할 수 없는 거다라고 하셨었거든요. 네. 네네네. 네네, 맞아요.
Master, I have a question. Before you said if you want your blessing to be matured, you need a condition. But lately in the Prajna Sutra, you said you cannot control your condition.
그래서 지금 상황은 굉장히 여러 가지 많은 선택.
Are you trying to embarrass me?
아니요. No. 네.
So what's your question? You can't control, so what is your problem?
제 문제는 너무나 여러 가지.
Let me explain to you, okay? When you have good roots, this is a good question. You have a good roots that you accrued in the past. You want them to mature. And this is what Bodhisattvas and Buddhas do. They look at your good roots and they help you. They do things to help your good roots mature. Okay? They actually do a lot that quite often. Okay? And so in order for them to mature, usually it's the good roots. Therefore, it needs the proper conditions. Okay, meaning that conditions favorable, like the seeds needs water, it needs fertilizer, it needs the sun, and so forth. Okay, same thing. Good root needs the proper conditions for them to mature. Okay, so that's what Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do for you. Furthermore, okay, you can do it yourself too. You can do it yourself. You can help your cause by staying on the good side. Okay, avoid doing evil, do good. That's how you can influence. That's how you create conditions for your good roots to mature. Because you do a lot of evil things, usually it means your evil roots will mature, not the good roots, typically. All right? That's all. But on the other hand, that's what you can do to help your cause. On the other hand, for you specifically says, I want this root here, and I want to have a condition to make this root here mature. It's not possible for you. It's not always possible. Okay, that's all.
맞서 제가 이 질문을 하게 됐던 이유는 지금 현재 상황이 굉장히 많은 선택을 해야 되는 상황이거든요. 뭐 회사를 해야 되냐, 회사를 옮겨야 되냐 말아야 되냐, 뭐 미국 출장을 가야 되냐 말아야 되냐, 뭐 이사를 해야 되냐 말아야 되냐, 또 문제가 또 뭐 있었지? 투자하고 있는 방향성을 바꿔야 되냐. 이렇게 모든 선택지가 굉장히 몰려 있는 상황이라서 한번 끊을게요, 스님.
Master, I asked this because my current situation is that I have so many choices right now, so many things that I have to make decisions. For example, I'm wondering whether I change my company or not. Should I go on a business trip to US or not? Should I move my home or not? Should I change my direction of my investment or not? So I have so many decisions to make.
제가 그래서 마스터한테 배웠던 백그라운드 인포메이션으로는 좋은 일을 하고 결과부자를 해서 머리가 명료한 상태에서 떠오르는 거를 결정한다 라고 이제 제가 그렇게 알고 있는데
So the information I learned from you is that when my head is clear, I decide when something pops up.
Well, that's one way. Or another way is for you to pray Guanyin Bodhisattva. Keep on praying. Praying Guanyin Bodhisattva, Guanyin Bodhisattva, Guanyin Bodhisattva. And eventually, maybe when you're sleeping, she'll come to your dream and say, you should do this. Okay? But I can't help you. I don't know how to help you. You have plenty of people who can help you. Okay? Good luck to you. I can't live your life for you. You have to try your best. That's all you have. Okay? And you try your best and give it your all and adapt. If it's not working out, then you change and you accord with conditions. That's all. If you're looking for a surefire success, a surefire answer to what to do, there's no such thing. You have to constantly adapt. Okay? Just like your body is changing, so you constantly adapt. It won't be much longer before your skin starts sagging. You see, now you have to worry about how attractive you'll be. You see, so it happens. We just adapt. That's all. You have plastic surgery and and all those things.
일단
Shall we? That I know a little bit.
마스터 그럼 일단 첫째 그냥 하던 거를
Still
하고
has questions. Not easily discouraged. Go ahead.
아니 마스터 그럼 그냥 하던 대로 하던 걸 하고 관세음보살님께 기도해 보겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Okay, Master, I will do what I've been doing and pray vigorously to Guanyin Bodhisattva. Thank you.
Yeah, if you have a response, you have the response. It's because Guanyin Bodhisattva deems you worthy of the response. If Guanyin doesn't want the response, then do like the old monk. Tell Guanyin, I don't believe in you anymore. I'm going to Earth Store Bodhisattva. Pressure her. That's all. Okay? She has a lot of competition, dear. It's Guanyin Bodhisattva has to deal with strength Bodhisattva, with sunlight Bodhisattva, moonlight Bodhisattva, and Manjushri, and so forth. It's a lot of competition for Bodhisattvas. It's only one you, but many, many Bodhisattvas.
마스터 그리고요 지금 마스터 XC 말씀을 하셔가지고 말씀 질문드리게 됐는데 제가 마스터 XC에 관한 기도를 약사부처님한테 하고 있는데 그럼 관세음보살님한테 다 기도를 뭐라 해야 될까요?
So, talking about Master XC, I've been praying for Master XC. I prayed to Medicine Master Buddha. And should I change to praying for Master XC to Guanyin Bodhisattva?
I have the answer for you. Try your best. Okay? This girl here wants a definite answer. Tell me A, B, C. Which one is it going to be? I said, try your best. Good night, everyone. Thank you.